According to a bit of reporting over at TechCrunch, the firm, Uniswap Labs, is looking to raise maybe $100 to $200 million, according to 4 sources. So nice little scoop out of TechCrunch. Shout out to them. This is interesting. It's based on sources unnamed, so we don't exactly know what the funding would go toward, but they certainly have been ramping up efforts to be a bit more than just the biggest decentralized exchange in crypto. That includes NFT plans, includes wallet plans, and potentially more. So I thought this was interesting as we go into a lull in the crypto markets more broadly, that one of the DeFi majors is potentially getting a little bit more dry powder to maximize its involvement in the DeFi space. All right. I'm going to toss this scoop to Danny Scoops. Danny, what do you think about this scoop over at TechCrunch? What do you think about Uniswap? What does it mean that they're trying to ramp up with potentially some additional capital?
Well, in this market, when I'm seeing these $100, $200 million figures, I'm not just thinking, oh, they're going to go out and get talent. I'm thinking they're going to start following the SBF playbook, go out, see who's gotten weaker, try to make some acquisitions, bring on talent and intellectual property with it. I'm not sure that that's exactly what Uniswap Labs is going to be doing with this money, but I think it's very valuable for us to think about that possibility just because of what we've already been seeing with the market getting shaken out the way that it has. A lot of players have lost a lot of power, and that means that those that retain that pole position can strike when everything is cheap. So I'm sure they're thinking about that. We should think about that too. Will.
Ooh, we should do a round for the hash.
Yeah, we should do a round for the
who
hash,
do you guys
honestly.
Buy? Let's buy Danny Nelson's contract and get him on here every day. That's what I say.
No.
Ooh, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
We can put a DAO together for it. Quit.
If
Well, let's
there's
just
a DAO
buy-
that
yeah.
I have to report to, I will quit.
Danny
just
DAO.
for the record. Oh, goodness.
Oh, no. Sorry, we own your contract. We already raised. Okay, let's dig into the story a little bit, though. It is interesting on a few different levels. The first is that Uniswap has definitely a big bag of cash, right? They issued the Uni token, which was then given to a lot of different people. According to Masari, the founders and the project itself garnered 21% of the initial Uni allocation. I don't have a further breakdown from there, but it's safe to say that they have a nice little bag of Uni, which has a $5 billion market cap. How they deploy that, of course, comes with a few strings attached. Whenever you see a governance token for a project, whether it's useful or not, like Uni token, it does have some sort of criteria around using it, including going through like polling and getting some like OKs and elections from the DAO behind it. So it's not necessarily something that you can necessarily like always use, but it does sit there. And it's funny to me that they're going through with like a funding round when they do have a lot of money that way. That being said, time to go get some bags, time to go make some allocations, time to go scoop up some good talent. There's a lot of projects out there that probably need a little bailout. They're really good at coding. They weren't so good at the business end. It's time to go scoop them up. A few things in this piece that were interesting to me. One was the NFT marketplace, creating some sort of dominant way to route all NFTs through a Uniswap protocol. Another thing that was interesting to me was building a wallet. There's a lot of wallets out there, but there's not a lot of dominant wallets besides MetaMask. So it'd be great to see some competitors to that. And a little secret within crypto that nobody really talks about is wallets actually make a lot of money. You can just add a little fee, nobody knows about it, and you have sustainable revenue. So if Uniswap Labs is looking for yet another project to add to their book and they want more revenue, a wallet makes a lot of sense. And I think there's definitely a few projects out there that could go scoop up, and they might not even have to do that much work to get this wallet paired with Uniswap. Zach, to you.
Yeah, I can imagine why, for regulatory reasons, they wouldn't want to deploy some of that capital from their Uni allocation toward growth plans, right? I think that would, for a team that is largely U.S. based and widely known, aka doxed, that might be a bit of an issue. So the fact that they're going to the private markets to raise some capital would make a lot of sense. Looking back, they raised like 11 million, which is pretty small in their Series A from August 2020. Big names involved in that funding round, but certainly not a big sticker price on that. So the fact that they would probably level up to something in the $100 to $200 million range would certainly make sense for something that has become very central to the DeFi landscape. And Will, I think you're right. We saw it with MetaMask. That has become sort of the flagship of Consensus, the Ethereum developer studio, because of the fees that they're able to extract by way of swaps in the wallet itself. So interesting if that becomes part of the Uniswap playbook. Still unclear at this point. They declined to comment. Other potential investors also declined to comment, but a nice story nonetheless. here in the chilly winter months. Jen, I'm going to toss it to you for your last thoughts.
Will, I thought you were going to be more excited about this. You're always shitting on these small raises that are happening throughout the bear market, and this is $100 million. So I thought that was really interesting at $1 billion valuation.
Clap for
I also
the rich
zeroed
people.
in on the NFT play, right? So I think it's really interesting that they are going to focus on NFTs. I think we're going to see a lot more firms start focusing on where NFTs meet DeFi as we kind of live in middle season. And I think there are going to be some really interesting interoperable plays that come out of the season when it comes to NFTs meaning DeFi. We're going to see it, they're not just going to be JPEGs anymore. We're going to be able to do a lot with them, which is going to be really cool and maybe also really scary. But that's all I got on that.
Okay, I'll take it. Last thought as we go into the next subject is, yes, they have the Uni token. Yes, is a big check, but it does make sense. So I'm not 100% against it, right? If you have the talent and you have a strategy, then yeah, get that back, get that cash, go make another good move.